Excellent.
What's up, Holmes?
Hey. Hey, hey, hey. LP's still sneezing. Annika? Oh, coming all the way. Yeah. Allie, don't hide.
Please don't ever put that in here.
Coming in, coming in. Coming in, coming in.
By the end of his life, he was a huge promotion over the months.
Asking for a sweat.
Anyway, that's a price for everything. So this is one of. By the end of his life, he was a huge promotion over the months.
Asking for a sweat.
Anyway, that's a price for everything. So this is one of.
Nat, you won't get in. Oh, people are doing it.
Together 3 times.
If only it was that quick.
Yeah, they do the same. I'll let them have a look at that at the end. No, they have a special way of doing it. Frames.
Wow.
No, not a court.
That's
This is the upper courtyard, and then we go down to the lower courtyard. The flags, by the way, these are the flags of the 26 counties of the Republic of Ireland.
Sick. Oh, hello.
I'm going to be in that video.
I was gonna say, you're in this a lot.
With my face.
Just the top of it though. I don't think I've seen your mouth yet. This is why it looks.
Yeah.
Invaded Ireland in 1170. 100 years earlier, they'd invaded England from France. 1066, famous date in English history, the Battle of Hastings. The Normans were actually a group of Vikings.
That says fish crusties.
And the opinion of a lot of people, this is the best Irish traditional record shop in the city. Claddagh Records were founded 50 years ago by a guy from a new band called the Chieftains and a member of the Guinness family. And 50 years ago we were worried that Irish traditional music was dying off. It's hard to believe that now because it's very, very popular. But there's been a huge amount of emigration out of Ireland, and Irish music was stronger maybe in London or Boston or New York. Now, here is the trick with the Claddagh ring. It's got a harp and it's got a crown and it's got 2 hands. Now, you can wear it 2 ways. You can wear it with the heart pointing in, and you can wear it with the heart pointing out. And what it means is if the heart is pointing in, there is something special in your life. Oh God, are you dying? On the other hand, if the heart is pointing out, you are single, and if somebody wants to come along and try and chat to you, they may do so. Now the point of this was, there was actually a serious reason for this. Any fishing village, unfortunately, especially in the old days, was likely to have its fair share of tragedies. And the old tradition was, if your man was a fisherman and he disappeared, if he did not come back after a year, you assumed he wasn't going to come back. And you see, in the old days, there wasn't mass transport. So there were cases of Irish fishermen who went missing and people thought they drowned, but they turned up a year later because quite small little narrow streets. This was the old 17th and 18th century warehouses. The river just behind those buildings. The boats used to come up the river.
I'm over it.
This was an old warehouse. Now, it's named after this guy here, William Temple. And about 400 years ago, he was a very intelligent man. He was a writer, he was a doctor. He was one of the first governors of Trinity College. And his family owned our boss was a program for the Discovery Channel. Very long time. Not for the governor of this bank on his $500,000 a year salary didn't spot the financial crash coming 3 years ago. It's interesting because my brother's a postman and he spotted the financial crash coming. He said they're building too many apartments and he was right. In fact, I think my dog spotted the financial crash coming. But anyway, not looking around the central bank. The point about Dublin is it has what we call the old-fashioned skyline. All over Europe there was a rule that you did not build taller than the spire of your cathedral because that was a monument to God, Almighty God, and you didn't build higher. But Dublin was never bombed in the Second World War. Well, it was bombed once in May, but the city centre was never hit. And so we kept this rule. Despite that, they allowed a guy to build this monstrosity about 20 years ago. It drives me crazy, this building. It is ugly and hideous and all the rest of it. But it does have one useful function. If you need to find the Temple Bar area, this place sticks out like a sore thumb. So you can see it from pretty well
like
all over
Jill.
Dublin. So if you find that building and walk towards the bottom of it, you are in Temple Bar. And remember, your hotel is in the Temple Bar area and you'll be home in about 2 minutes.
Uh-oh. They know you're here.
Now, this is Trinity College, oldest and most famous university in Ireland, founded in 1592 under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I of England. She said the university will be to civilise and educate that barbarian race, the Irish, and raise them in the Protestant faith.
Right? Or study abroad here.
Where's that way?
Learned to read and write, brought back copies of the Gospels and decorated them with the rich, highly symbolic Celtic art. And symbolism was really important because when people couldn't read and write, they would recognise the symbols. Now, the book is called after a monastery north of Dublin where the book was taken to keep it away from the Vikings. It was actually written off the west coast of Scotland, and eventually the Vikings did get their hands on the book and they stole the 2 gold covers which have never been found. They'll turn up in some guy's back garden in Norway someday, please God. But later in the 17th century, English Puritan soldiers who hated all religious art, they wanted to destroy the book, and an archbishop called James Ussher brought the book here, and it's been in Trinity College for the last 350 years. Now, Archbishop Ussher, so to stand out and attract the female, these guys developed these enormous antlers to stand out on these very pretty dull plains.
Guys, how are you feeling?
Good.
Good.
I was say delicious. I still had beer on my brain.
I'm delicious right now, thank you.
I feel good. I've eaten.
Jill, how's that beer taste?
Yeah,